You have to give up all blaming, excuses, justification, everything in life. Otherwise, you'll never move forward or win the day or win your life. If you, every time something goes on in your life or happens to others, if the first thing in your mindset is to find excuses for it, to justify why it happened, to complain about it, to make excuses about it, your mindset is around not problem solving, but it's around, just staying anchored. You're never going to move forward. So you need to learn how to be somebody that's solution orientated as opposed to always, finding a reason why things can't happen or why things happen poorly to you. Yes, you can have a quick mindset and go, why did that happen? But you should learn to flip your mindset immediately to being a person that's looking for solutions to the circumstances or problems that are happening around you or happening to others. Listening to somebody talk about it and you feeding into it and going, oh, that is so terrible that happened. Unfortunately, most people need to change and pivot their mindset and say to that person or persons that, you know what, that's unfortunate that happened to you. Here's a solution for you. Or why don't we work together to come up with a solution so that doesn't happen again? Or let's work together to find a solution so you don't have to worry about, that circumstance happening to you ever again, right? So become somebody that's more solution orientated when circumstances or problems come up to others or to yourself. Because bottom line, if you constantly make excuses, you're self-sabotaging yourself. You're not going to move forward. If you're constantly blaming others instead of looking internally to yourself as to what was your part in the circumstance or, problem that come up. Again, if it's about somebody else, you could be part of the problem of why it happened to that other person. And then you finding excuses or justifying what went on could be the fact that you played a part in the problem and you're trying to not make it aware to that person that it really was your fault that they got into that circumstance or had that challenge or issue. So you need to honestly think about it when you're communicating with other people, or if they're communicating with you, did you play a role in it? And if you didn't play a role in it, then how can you help uplift them past their circumstance that they're feeling? Instead of adding fuel to their fire and going boo-hoo, woo-hoo, it's so bad that happened, or that person shouldn't have done that to you, or, that's so terrible. Instead, be a solution person. Be somebody that can uplift and help them. And if you did have part of the responsibility for what's happened to somebody else, own it, admit it, and apologize, and still be a solution provider and say, it's unfortunate that happened. I'm sorry I played this part of it, or I played this role in it, or I was completely to blame for it. Own your crap when you cause problems and pain for others, whether it's mental, physical, or both. Own it. Help them find a solution for it. And if it's directly responsible for yourself and it's nobody else is involved, own your part in it. And say, you know what? Why did I do that? Why did I let that happen? Analyze what's gone on with you. Analyze between your 6 inches between your ears. What could I have done differently? Why do we do that? Do need to do that? Or why is it important that you do that? Because if you don't, you're on a hamster wheel. The same problem or circumstance is going to happen over and over and over again for those around you, for yourself, unless you take onus, take responsibility. Ownership empowers you. Now, taking that ownership is part one. Part two is, how can I do things differently later? How can I do things differently the next time? What can I do to level myself up so that circumstance doesn't happen again? And how can you really push yourself? Think about how you feel at that moment. Whether it, again, is it somebody else that's going through it, you were part of it, whether or not it's something that's directly just about you and had nothing to do with anybody else. by owning that pain or that anguish that you see in others or you feel in yourself, it can help trigger the fact that you want to find a solution so you never have to go through that again. You never have to cause anguish for others or just straight anguish for yourself. I hope that makes sense, but ownership is key in order for us to move forward in life and pivot to be the best version of ourselves for others, for ourselves. Life is about ownership. You need to own your garbage. You need to own the fact when you make a mistake. You need to be willing to apologize to people if you were part of their misery, whether it's partial or 100%. It will save relationships by you owning up, because you may avoid it. You may sugarcoat it for them. They may not initially think about the fact of your role in something that they've gone through, but eventually it'll come back to you. They may never figure it out, or they will figure it out and then they'll be upset at you. But if they never figure it out, guess what will come back on you? It's something called karma. And I 1,000% believe in karma. So you know what? Just be a decent, kind human being. Admit your mistakes to others. Admit your mistakes to yourself. Level up from that point, and you will continually rise and be a better person. You'll be the best version of yourself every day that circumstances happen that you were involved in, again, through others or yourself. So I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. DM me, leave me comments below if you feel, you'd like to chat more about this. God bless you all. Peace out. Stay out of trouble and stay safe.